it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to a very special video. It's the first of four, and back, maybe in the summer, on a live stream, Rob Walker challenged me and say, could I pick my top 100 bands? And I said, yep, I think I can. So I said I'd do it at Christmas. So here we are, the Saturday before Christmas, and I'm going to do part one, and for the next 4 days there will be a video on my top 100. So we're going to do from 100 to 76 today. So we'll start at, of course, number 100, and that is not a rock and roll band or a metal band or a prog band. It's an electronic band, and they are called the Art of Noise. Now, people that have been in the Art of Noise, Anne Dudley and JJ Jekyll's-Lack were the mainstays. Gary Langdon, the one and only Trevor Horn, Paul Morley and Lowell Creme were in Art of Noise at some stage. Made, what's it, 5 or 6 albums. Off their first album, Who's Afraid of the Art of Noise, we had the brilliant beatbox, the little short snapshot, but the big hit from that one, of course, was Close to the Edge. They also did a version of Peter Gunn. They did the Robinson Crusoe theme from the TV series back in the 70s. So, yeah, I like them. I really like their music. They were different, and that's why they made it into my top 100. Okay, number 99 is a band that produced 3 great guitarists: Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton. So we're talking about the Yardbirds, of course, not forgetting, of course, Keith Relf and Jim McCarty, because without them we wouldn't have had a singer and a harmonica player or a drummer. Some great songs over the years: Good Morning Little Sunshine, For Your Love, Heart Full of Soul, I'm a Man and Still I'm Sad. Some great tunes, made some, not so many albums, but they were a pretty decent band. Okay, then coming in at number 98 is one of them super groups made up of Paul Rodgers, Jimmy Page, Tony Franklin and Chris Slade. The Firm only made 2 albums, but what a group. From their debut album, I love the tracks Make or Break, Midnight Moonlight and Mean. And from Mean Business, their second album, we had the wonderful Cadillac and Live in Peace. Absolutely terrific albums. Okay, number 97. Now this is a band that I discovered by pure accident. They're a 70s prog band from Scotland, and they're called Beggars Opera. The one and only Alan Park on organ, and Raymond Wilson on drums, Ricky Gardner on lead guitar. This was the original lineup, and Martin Griffiths did the vocals. They made 14 albums, but it was that first album, that one, that really was the one I heard, and I just love their music. Okay, then number 96. We're going back to my early 20s now. So back in the 80s, and there was one band I really liked, and that was Poison. Bret Michaels, CZ DeVille, Ricky Rocket and Bobby Dahl. They just played basic rock and roll. Okay, they weren't they were big in America, not as big over here. It's a bit of a hair metal thing, but the music was good. I mean, I love Cry Tough and Talk Dirty to Me. They had that big hit with Every Thorn Has Its Rose, Your Mama Don't Dance and Skinny Bob. I did see them as well. I saw them at Donington. I think they're on the same bill as Whitesnake. Or was it Iron Maiden? I can't remember. Such a long time ago. Okay, then number 95. Another band from that sort of period. Seen them a few times. Saw them as a support band. It's Bon Jovi. I really liked them in their early days. I'd say up until the Keep the Faith album, that's when I really was into the Bon Jovi. But they sort of went downhill from there, from me onwards. They made 1 or 2 good little tracks like It's My Life, But on the Runaway and Breakout, I do like Let It Rock and Bad Medicine and Wanted Dead or Alive. That was the era that I liked. So coming in at number 94, another band from that period, the really good band, very underrated, Cinderella, Tom Kiefer, the man with the gravelly voice, the man that wrote some great ballads, and the lineup that was probably the best was Jeff LaBar on guitars, a great guitarist, Eric Brittingham on the bass, and Fred Coury on the drums. Their first two albums are phenomenal. They only made 4, Night Songs and Long Cold Winter, which had 2 great hits on it, of course, Gypsy Road and Coming Home. I think they wrote some of the best rock ballads of the time. Okay, coming in at 93, a band we only featured a few weeks ago on a marathon, Tigers of Pantang. Of course, it's got a Northampton connection on the album This Wreckage, Neil Shepherd. But Tigers of Pantang are one of the bands from the beginning of the new wave of heavy metal. Wildcat, the debut album. John Sykes, of course, was in the band. They did Love Potion Number 9, which was a big hit. Very, very good band. And they're still making good albums today. Okay, number 92. First of the German bands in this list. And this one's a great German band called Accept. Wolf Hoffmann's sort of baby. Started off with that group with Udo Dirkschneider, bit of balls to the wall and all that, and that distinctive sound that he had. He left and they brought in Mark Tornillo, who is a fine singer, and I love the album Stalingrad that he sings on. Absolutely brilliant band. Goes back to my youth and I still love listening to them. Number 91, we have a singer from a band that will appear later in the list, and it's the solo career of Mr. Bruce Dickinson. Some great tracks he made on them solo albums. The Chemical Wedding and Balls to Picasso, great albums. But there's some tracks on there from Tattoo Miniland. You've got Born in 58, The Wonderful Tears of the Dragon, which is just a great track. Shoot All the Clouds and The Gates of Horizon. Fabulous tracks. We haven't done any Bruce Dickinson solo yet, but I'm sure that will come up during 2024. Okay, coming at number 90, sorry. We go to Japan now. Now, a band that started out was called Bow Wow, changed their name to Bow Wow, and they've come back to Bow Wow. I got into these when I heard a track called Hurricane, which is off the album Cyclone. I've never heard anything like it. And then Neil Murray joined for a little while. But Genki Hitomi, a great singer. And then you got a great guitarist in Kojo Yatamoto. He played with Phenomena as well. And the late Tarishi Nimi on drums. I actually saw this band in Northampton. They come and played in Northampton on their 5 or V album. It's quite funny. They're not very tall, these chaps, and then you've got the giant that is Neil Murray. Great songs, Hurricane, Don't Leave Me Now, Rock Me Now, and they're a great version of Helter Skelter. I remember talking to Neil Murray and said, I saw you when you was in Bow Wow. And he went, wow. Yeah, I says, and I thought they were great. Okay, number 89, an Irish band from County Fermanagh, the Mamas Boys, the McManus Brothers, Pat the Professor on the guitars, John on the bass, and the late Tommy, who sadly died of leukemia in 94. Saw them twice, saw them at Nebworth Park, and I saw them at Milton Keynes Bowl. They opened the garden party. Great tracks. They did a great version of Slade's Mama We're All Crazy Now. Then they did Runaway Dreams, which has got Pat playing a violin. Needle in the Groove has always been, which is a great track. Letting Go and One Last Chance. Very good band, very underrated, and they went down a storm live. Okay, coming in number 88, we're going away from rock. We're going to one of the new wave bands. They started off as a post-punk band, and then they became a sort of a synthy pop band, and that's Ultravox. I love the period with John Fox. There's some great tunes on there, but when he left, Midge-Ure come in, and that's when they were very successful. The classic Vienna, Astrodied from the same album. Oh, The Voice. There's so many great tracks, and they had a reunion, and that live album Return to Eden was fantastic. Number 88 then. Go for a bit of progressive metal, and one of the finest in the business, Symphony X. Michael Romeo, Michael Pin on the guitars, Michael Pinella, the great keyboarders, and the fantastic Russell Allen. As much as I like Dream Theater, I prefer these. It's just how it is. Some great albums: The Divine on the Wings of Tragedy, Twilight Olympus, and The Mythical Suite. Just some of the highlights. Okay, number 86 is a band that we've done live and studio albums. Jay Giles Band. Only remembered really for the album Freeze Frame and Centerfold, but before that, what some albums we had. The Morning After, Bloodshot, Hotline. Great musicians, including, you know, Jay Giles, who sadly died in 2017. Great guitar player. You had Peter Wolf on vocals. And then we had Richard Schwartz, known to us all as the man with the big hair and harmonica Magic Dick. Saxophone, trumpet. What a performer he was. I love this band. Long before Centerfold, I love the boogie, brassy sort of stuff. What a great band. Okay, coming in at number 85, another Scottish band. The brilliant band called Gun, came out in the 90s with the album Taking on the World, which is a fantastic album. Some great tracks on there. The title track is one of my favourites, Better Days, and they did that cover version of Word Up as well. Fantastic band. Saw them a couple of times. I saw them at the Roadmender in Northampton, but I also saw them at Wembley when they supported Def Leppard. Okay, number 84, the first band from Canada to be in my list, and it's the fantastic Steppenwolf. That classic lineup: John Kay, Michael Monaghan, Rushton Mooreve, Jerry Edmonton, and Goldie McJohn. Produced some great albums. Okay, so they were known for Born to Be Wild, but Magic Carpet Ride was another fantastic track. Okay, number 83, we're going to a little bit of British prog from the 70s. It's the brilliant Van der Graaf Generator. That's loads of people in the band, but the three that everyone remembers: Peter Hamill, Hugh Banton, and Guy Evans. What a lineup. I got into these because of that theme one on the Friday Rock Show. I brought a Greatest Hits album, and I played a Lighthouses was on it, and I fell in love with that. And then I went off and brought Porn Hearts and things like that, and all their other stuff, and I just love the band now. Okay, number 82, a band that I was really into when they first come out, not so much these days, and that is Muse. Dominic Howard, Chris Wolstenholme, and Matt Bellamy, who's got a famous dad, of course, who was in the Tornadoes. That's Muse. For me, them first four albums were absolutely gold. Showbiz, Our Origin of Symmetry, Absolution, and Black Holes and Revelations. Tracks like Newborn and Hysteria and Butterflies and Hurricanes. And go back to the first album with Cave, Nights of Sidonia. When all the wheels came off then, and I'm not a great fan of them now, so I don't listen to them as much as I did. But them four albums, I do like playing them. Okay, coming at number 81, we have one of these really super groups. Four fine musicians of Neil Morse, Mike Portnoy, Ronnie Stolt, and Peter Druvalis, who make up Transatlantic. Every album is great. There's Not a bad album in that lot. And the other thing they do on their live stuff, they do some great covers. I mean, they have done the Return of the Giant Hodgeweed with Steve Hackett, which must have been brilliant. A great band, and I couldn't leave them off this list. Okay, number 80. We're going to one of the keyboard wizards for me of all time, and that's Jean-Michel Jarre. Hearing the Oxygen, that part 1 and part 4, back in the day as a young lad, I was mesmerised by it all. He's gone through some lean periods as well, but it was them first 4 or 5 albums. I'd say up to about Rendezvous, and it started sort of thing, but the 3 that I love are Oxygen, Equinox and Magnetic Fields, and the brilliant Concertina album is superb. Okay, up at number 79, a band that I've slowly got into. Didn't like their first 2 albums, but when Master of Puppets came out, so we're talking about Metallica, I love that. Some great tracks on there. Orion, Master of Puppets itself. The Black Album, I really like that. Was never keen on the earlier albums, but I got into them because I love Battery now. They went through a lean period as well, but they come back strong with 72 Seasons. Okay, coming in at 78, it's the first sort of solo artist as such, and it's the one and only Mr. Elton John. We did a story on Elton John, but my favourite period, of course, is the 70s. We had albums like Tumbleweed Connection and Honky Tonk Chateau, Captain Fantastic, Yellow Brick Road, all producing great songs like Rocket Man, and then you got something you did with Kiki D. That's just some great music, and A Song for Guy. I love that song. Okay, number 77, so we've nearly done the first part. We have a member of a band, and this is his solo stuff, and it's Robert Plant. That debut album, Pictures at 11, fantastic. The Principle of Moments, which has got one of my favourite tracks, The Big Log. And then for Manic Nirvana, Tie-Dye Highway, I absolutely love that. I've actually seen Robert Plant, and when he was doing the Honey Drippers, remember that EP? Yeah, I've seen that lineup. It was a fantastic gig. Well, it was it was part of a big day, but bit of Honey Drippers didn't go amiss. It was brilliant. And the last one today, number 76, is a band from Sweden, and it's not ABBA. It's Europe. Now everyone thinks of Europe and they think of the Final Countdown and Carrie and all that commercial stuff. But there's more to this band than that. Joey Tempest, of course, John Norum, John Levin, Mick Hackland and Ian Horgland. That is the lineup. Their album before Final Countdown, Winter Tomorrow, their second album, is brilliant. But their last 4 albums, Last Look of Eden, Bag of Bones, War of Kings and Walk on Earth, are gritty, bluesy rock albums. I keep saying this, if you haven't heard them, go and check them out. Okay, that's part 1 done. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so why not watch this while you're wrapping up your last minute presents, or just having that gentle drink before the big day. And we will be doing part 2, which will take us from number 75 up to number 50. So wonder what's going to be in that bunch. You'll find out tomorrow. Bye for now.